What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. Tonight we have a mirror match going up. Ryzeal Fiendsmith is one of the better decks of the format. If you're playing Ryzeal any variant, you're going to be doing pretty good. We saw at the regionals yesterday or the day before yesterday. We had Misery Ryzeal, Ryzeal Fiendsmith, Misery Ryzeal, Pure Ryzeal all in the top cut there, which is going to be pretty good. Only two decks that did not make the top cut. Before we dive on into over to like, comment, share option a lot, we're trying to get their 10k. We're going to be seeing the player on the left side going to be starting off first with a normal summon ice, one of the better normal summons in the entire deck. That's going to be met with a copy of Imperm, hoping they don't have anything else to continue, and it's going to look pretty nice. We do continue off with the Fiendsmith Engraver, which is going to be another one-card starter. Now, fortunately, they did start off with the Ice, which I definitely think is going to be a little bit of a misplay, because you want to be able to make sure you can activate the effect of the track, discarding the Lurie, and making sure that the Lurie does not get hit with a copy of a Bestial. While you control the ice on the field, you are going to be leaving yourself open to a Bestial there, but it does not matter, we don't have one. We're going to be seeing them go up into the Requiem, which can go up into Lacrima. Lacrima, another Engraver here, and the amazing part with Lacrima is also going to be a level 4. So here we're going to actually overlay if we want to, or we can go up into the, Engraver part going into a Seer, depending on what we want to go for here, and if we think our opponent has another hand trap. We're going to be overlaying up into most likely a Duo Drive, and then Duo Drive will be able to activate the effect attaching to, and will that be met with a hand trap here? We're going to see another Veiler here in this case, going to be negating the Duo Drive, and that's going to be quite impactful to kind of stop this. Now we do have the ability to go Engraver someone back out, and they do have a Bestial for that Engraver there, with a Magnemite. Triple hand trapping our opponent here is going to be pretty powerful. Now, interestingly enough, we could have just hit the Lurie there and kind of burnt those resources, making so we do not have the Lacrima ability to get on the field, but we decided not to do that here, and we're going to be getting a Jerusalem during the end phase. I suppose that Jerusalem can hit the Lacrima out of the graveyard right now, but the Lacrima is going to be underneath the Duo Drive, so we're going to hit the Requiem instead. So we do hit the Requiem there, summoning itself out, and now a lot of players are opting to play 2 Requiem for one of these reasons, because if you do get hit with the copy of a Bestial on it, you are going to be sitting kind of in the water and not getting the effect of like the Lacrima or getting your shuffle back your Engravers and stuff like that to kind of continue off. So it is kind of important here. We do start off with a track of our own, dumping the Lurie. Lurie will then summon itself out, and then we can link away into a Requiem. Now we can go Requiem effect going up into a lovely Lacrima, and then Lacrima can dump an Engraver as well. And then we have the ability to go into a Light and Dark Chaos Angel with the Jerusalem on the field. Very hard for the deck to end up beating that, especially with an Engraver and a Requiem kind of already gone. We're going to be kind of forcing them to open up into another Engraver or a Tract in this case. So we do go up into a sequence here, and then we're going to be seeing the Jerusalem attempt to send the Duo Drive. I don't necessarily think that's correct. I think that we should actually have gone for the Light and Dark Chaos Angel first, just so that we can get rid of both those cards on the field. And then we're going to get punished because we do have the Imperm on that sequence there, which would have been banished off the Light and Dark Chaos Angel. But we're going to be seeing the sequence now going to be just kind of fizzled out, and we could have just like used the Engraver shuffle back, summoning out, when they use the Jerusalem as well as the sequence to go up into the sequence there, which is definitely kind of rough. I guess the Magnemite and the Engraver here. So we're going to see the Engraver kind of continue by summoning itself out by shuffling back that Lurie, but it is too late. So that definitely was a huge misplay on our parts. We're going to be seeing the Engraver equipped with the Requiem, and we're going to deal some damage here. So you see with a heavy misplay on our parts, we're dealing like, I think it's like 6,100 damage, but we could have just gone for game and just played through this with a Desert in the field. So when you are playing, make sure you don't make those kind of mistakes, because it can cost you the game here. Luckily, they are down a bunch of cards. We did have a triple hand traps, and we have a normal summon of an ice. So the reason why we didn't normal summon the ice first and getting the effects to kind of go off is in case they had a Nibiru, which they are playing in their main deck, that we wouldn't be able to kind of continue. Like, we were like, oh, they would just nib us here on the summon, which is going to be fine. We just proceed to normal summon ice, get the combo off anyways. But they do now go up into a Duo Drive, and they have a Ghost Ogre here. Now, I thought that we had just checked for all the hand traps at this point, but I guess not here. We're then going to go up into an SP in this case, and then SP can then banish the Engraver and the Graveyard, essentially to make them have 0 follow-up. But they have to have another discard in the Graveyard anyway, so that would be kind of another Engraver there. So we're going to be passing turn on this, and they start off with a Bonfire. We have an Ash for it as well, and that's going to leave them on 1 card in the hand. We're going to set 1 and just pass. And then we do have Lacrima to be able to put back and then summon out. and then we're going to activate the effect, and the game's going to be essentially over right there. So not really punished with the Ash in the hands, and of course them having like a Ghost Ogre and hand trap themselves, putting them down to one card and having them in exchange for that one card is going to be pretty easy, but still, you know, a kind of a misplay regardless. A Light and Dark Chaos Angel is extremely hard to out without Gum Day, and we've already gotten rid of the Requiem in the graveyard and the Lacrima pretty easily, so it's going to be kind of hard when they build up that Light Fiend in the graveyard to go up into that Gum Day to kind of beat over it. So that is definitely a misplay on our parts. We still got the game, but we still have something to learn, which is kind of important. You know, whenever you're playing, if you learn something, you are progressing as a player, which is obviously the important part. I love watching them on my replays for this exact reason, and of course, just a bonus posting them online. And you guys also in the comments, let me know when I do misplay. Sometimes I get told I suck at Fire King. It does make me a better player, so I do appreciate you guys every single time you comment, as well as, like, you know, trying to learn decks and stuff like that. I am not always playing the same deck. Like, I didn't play Ryzeal Fiendsmith for a very long time. I've been hopping back and forth, trying to master Christron, trying to play the Chimera deck, playing Memento a little bit, trying to see what's good in the format, and of course doing my other stuff, working full time. But we're going to be diving into game number 2, where we're going to be forced to go second once again. And can we triple hand trap them once again, or we're going to be seeing a kind of a full end board here. We're going to see a Bonfire being started off, one of the better starts, searching for an Ice. And we do not see anything on Resolution here. Droll is going to be a very prominent card in the format, but it does not look like it's going to get away with this time. We're going to be seeing a normal summon of Ice, and on that, we do chain a Full Roast here, going to try to give us an additional draw when they summon out that X from the deck, and whenever they touch their extra deck here, which does make them really not want to go into the Fiendsmith lines and go into the pure Ryzeal line instead here. We're seeing a Sword being summoned out, which is then activate the effect, let them search for an X, and that's going to be most likely leading into the Ryzeal board. So we did get one draw off of this, and we're most likely going to get a second, but nothing else. So we're going to see the Aggravator being sent to the graveyard. Now the reason why they choose to send the Aggravator over the Eclipse Twins is because we're not going to have multiple rank 4s to be able to summon back out, while the Aggravator will just be an on-field negate. So we're going to be seeing the X going to be searching for a Sword for follow-up here, and then we can go up into a Detonator. Now obviously we can go and get greedy if we want to, going into a duo drive, but it's not going to be worth it here, so we're going to be seeing them go for a 3-mat, which turns into a 4-mat, and that's going to be a pretty nice card. So we're going to be having like a 4 pops, as well as setting one additional card, and that's going to be giving us 2 draws off the Full Roast, plus a draw for turn. So a pretty decent exchange, trying to survive while not giving us too many draws, and having follow-up as well. So the only problem with this is that Metaltronus is going to be a crazy card to kind of beat this. Now, we don't have Metaltronus here. Instead, we have a Track starting off, which is going to be sending the Lurry, and then we're going to be summoning with the Lurry here. Now, we do link away into Requiem, and that's going to be kind of forcing out Interruption at this point. So, we do see the summon be successful here. And now we are thinking on this. We have an Engraver in the hand as well. So we try to go for a Princess or something. We do activate the X, sending the Aggravator, summoning itself out. And this is honestly a horrible play. And we're going to be chaining the Requiem. But X doesn't activate. It just happens. So the X should be on the field. So. Okay, we do realize that there. And they do have an opportunity. They're going to be destroying the X. And then we're going to be seeing the Lacrima being summoned off of the Requiem, but it's going to be negated with the Aggravator on the following chain. And we do see X going to let us search as well, which is going to be most likely searching for a Sword. Now, it's really important here is that we are level 4 locked. That's kind of the unfortunate part about having to use the X, so we don't really have any access to anything else. And we end up searching for the Sword here. Now we're going to be seeing Requiem going to activate the effect there. Or not Requiem, but the Lacrima activate the effect, and they do chain the Detonator, popping it, and then we still get the dump. So they do kind of waste the Aggravator, but it's not going to matter because we get to pop with the Detonator here, making it quite hard for us to kind of continue. Now, we do have some other options that we can make. We have whatever it's called, Aggravator in our graveyard, which can negate the Detonator as well. But kind of forced to Detonator pop that there to make sure we just don't get another rank 4. Now, we have a normal summon of an Ice, which can go up into X, And then we can go for the X effect now. Or do we not activate the X effect in the first place? Yeah, we did not activate the X effect in the first place here, so we're activating it now, searching for a node, which is going to be another extender here. And we can now go up into a detonator, but it's not going to make that much of a difference here. We could go for a duo drive, but that's going to be a very hard punish if that's like an imperm or a ghost ogre here. So we go up into the duo drive. We going to be seeing the duo drive getting ghost ogred once again. Now, this player on the left loves their ghost ogres. He played at regionals and he ended up ghost ogring me 3 times. Actually, he had ghost ogre in his hand 3 times, and he actually lost his last lost the last game of our match because he ended up opening up ghost ogres. And I just did not really play into it, so definitely kind of rough there. He ended up going first, and it was like triple ghost ogre, and that definitely just did not seal the deal. We didn't even make it do a drive in that match, so we are going to be making up now the detonator. The detonator will activate the effect, allowing us to attach the aggravator here. And we have a triple pop during our opponent's turn as well. Now we can protect with the detonator here. We're going to go for the engraver summon back out, and going to go in equipping with the Requiem. Now we should activate the engraver effect, sending the Requiem to send that copy of detonator. But instead we make a copy of Princess here, which, spoiler alert, we can't do. We're level 4 locked from the extra, or rank 4 locked from the extra deck here. So I don't know what we're thinking here. We're going to go engraver effect, and we draw a card, and then we realize, oh shit, we can't even do that. So we end up getting, we just screw up the game. We know we lost the game there. We drew a card we're not supposed to. I don't know if we realize it just yet, but we do realize this at some point. I only know that because I'm the player playing it. I look at my extra deck here, and I look at what I have, and then I go, yeah, I can't even do that. I don't know why I did it. I was supposed to go engraver effect, send the Requiem, sending the detonator, dealing some damage there, and then just pass turn on that. But we misplayed, which is, unfortunate. We end up drawing a card. You can't fix that game state, so we scoop it up, and that's going to be a game loss for us. We went to game 3. I don't know if we would have actually won that. I don't know what the set card was. They didn't have that many cards in the hand, so it was potentially a winnable game. But if you do make a misplay and you draw when you're not supposed to draw, and you can't really prove what you have else in hand, you take that game loss and you take it with pride. You live and you learn. You won't make that mistake ever again. That's the important part. You live and you learn. So now I'm on to the all-important game 3. We are going to go first here, which is going to be a very powerful in this matchup, unless they open up Ultimate Slayers or Melotronus, which is going to be very popular right now. There's also like a pure variant of Ryzeal running around, playing like books and stuff. David ended up topping with that, so shout out to David over the weekend. He played 2 books, and he played both books at 2 in the deck. He also played Ultimate Slayer. He wasn't playing Melotronus, but Melotronus can be ashed as well as Book of Eclipse. So I guess you have to kind of be worrying about, like, am I going to get ashed on my board, or am I going to get ashed on my hand traps, or I guess my Fiendsmith stuff or my Ryzeal stuff. So I guess they kind of have to choose there, which is pretty nice. But it does deal with the Ryzeal board quite nicely. Book of Mooning or Eclipsing the whole board can be crazy powerful. As well as Ultimate Slayer, you should be able to bounce back that copy of Detonator, and it's not once per turn. It's like, this is busted. It also deals with the Eclipse Twins because the Detonator is no longer in rotation. It's back in the extra deck. So, like, bye-bye Detonator, Eclipse Twins, have fun summoning back, do a drive. So, there's that kind of, variation that you are not always one to go. Now, at the regionals, I was actually making the mirror matches going first, game 3, because they were not expecting it, and it did pay off in 2 of my matches. Unfortunately, in one of them as well, he ended up setting an Ultimate Slayer, and I couldn't kill him that turn, so he kind of just cooked me that way. So we're going to be setting a card and just passing turn in game 3, which is not going to be the greatest. So that's going to be kind of rough there, and they just proceed to normal summon with a normal summon of an ice. We activate the effect of the Veiler, praying that's going to be enough. Now they have the sword, which that means they're rank 4 and locking themselves, which means that they cannot have access to the Faces cards anymore, and we're feeling a little bit better about this match now. They see a sword search for the X, which can obviously kind of continue their combo, and sword can search for, or X can search for node if they don't want to go up into a duo drive. But it's going to be pretty slim for us to win. What's important is that all we have to deal with is going to be the Ryzeal end board, which is going to be pretty nice. We're going to see X going to be sending the duo drive, settling itself out, and then we're going to activate the effect of X to let us search, and we are thinking on this here. do we have multiple hand traps to stop these cards? Do we want to stop the node being searched or no? We're going to be seeing the node searched here, so we do not stop it, but we do think on it. So perhaps having something else. We're now going to go up into the dual drive. Dual drive will get the effect to equip the dual drive, and we hit them with a Ghost Ogre of our own. Have a taste of your own medicine, Nick. We then see the node special summon itself out, and that's going to activate the effect discarding a card to summon out another one of the Ryzeals in the graveyard if we want to kind of waste a card in the hand. Now, we are going to activate the effect sending the Ultimate Slayer here. Now, we don't really need that. There's no monsters on our field here, so we get to summon out another monster, being the Sword. Now, we can go up for a big detonator here. Or we can try to find a way to put back that dual drive, but I don't believe that there is going to be another way. So we are going to think on it. If we had another dual drive, they could go up in the dual drive to get the search effect, because we did Ghost Ogre on the other effect there. But it's still going to be pretty rough. We got a little bit too eager to Ghost Ogre, so we're going to go battle phase and take the damage. And they do then proceed to overlay up into the Trap Text Rafflesia. And this has the ability to go for both hole monsters. I guess it depends which one you want to go for. You can go for the Gravedigger Hole, which in time burns for 2,000 when they activate a hand trap. A Nibiru is going to be a pretty powerful card you can do there. Or you can go for the Plasma Hole as well, which targets the Ryzeal XYZs on the field and pops it. Now, a lot of players know the Ryzeal XYZ effect, so it's going to be kind of or the Ryzeal Plasma Hole effect, which can be quite important. Now, we do go with an Ice or X here, sending the Aggravator. That's going to be met with the Aggravator, Chain Link 2, going to be attempting to negate. And then the Imperm is going to be Chain Link 3 on the X, making so that we not get to get that search, which we're in a simplified game state. That makes sense to me every single time. So that's going to be pretty nice. We are locked into rank 4 from the extra deck now. Do we have any way to kind of continue this is the question. We're going to be seeing a node being normal summon, the worst normal summon of our deck. We go up into a dual drive, and will this dual drive activate the effect, allowing us to search? But they have the Ash Blossom for it. We have the Strike for the Ash, paying 15, essentially saying we are going to be searching here. And we get to now go for the Cross as well as, now we don't have the access to node, but we do have the Ice or Sword here. Now Sword will give us another extender, which is pretty nice. We do go Ice, sending the dual drive. Now maybe we want the dual drive in the graveyard so we can put it back with Cross with the node to get us an additional draw, but it's not going to be great. We're going to be seeing Sword summon itself out. Then Sword's going to search for an X. We play Cross. Oh, actually, we normal summon Ice. We special summon Node. That makes more sense, because it can just summon itself out. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking. So we go for normal summon Ice, search for Sword, search for X, and then we're going to go for Cross, put back, and then draw. And we can go for like Detonator, which is we're going to be seeing here. Detonator's going to be able to attach the Aggravator. And Aggravator's going to attack into the Rafflesia. And they do activate the Rafflesia effect here, setting the Plasma, but they actually cannot because it does not activate there. Like, it sends for cost, but it's not a legal activation. Therefore, it can't be used. So we make sure we read this, and we read the trap card, because I didn't really know what the trap card does myself. But we actually cannot do that. We have to have an XYZ, Ryzeal XYZ on the field. So unfortunately, we just can't. Which is fine. We just put it back in the deck. It's just, unfortunately, a brick. But yeah, the cost is that there has to be a Ryzeal XYZ on the field. Therefore, the effect of the Rafflesia has to be a legal card. Now, if we had a Ryzeal XYZ on the field on our side, it would have been just fair to activate. But unfortunately, we just cannot do that. So we're going to be seeing the no detonator effect to pop the Ice. We're going to leave that Ice on the field because we can't attack twice. And with that, we just kind of pass turn over to us. Now, hopefully, we have some hand traps. in something else to kind of continue this. But we are in a simplified game state when we're seeing a track going to be activated. Now we're finally getting access to the Fiendsmith cards in Game 3, with the player on the left having the advantage. We're going to be seeing the Luri summoning itself out, but do we negate that with the Ryzeal Cross? We are going to be seeing Ryzeal Cross we're going to see the Cross as well as Detonator activate the effect, popping the ice as well as negating the Luri, saying I don't want any access to these cards. Then we're going to be seeing a Bonfire as the final card, searching for the ice. Ice going to normal summon, activate the effect, and do we chain the Detonator here in the end? Do we have one card left in hand or no? We actually may have one card left. We do Valor the Ice, and that's going to be it. We have nothing else to kind of go for. Do we play a Typhon? This might just be game. We're going to be seeing them pass turn, and we're forced to kind of continue. So we just see pass on this, and do we have a way or an access to any of the Fiendsmith cards to get that 8,000 damage onto the field? We're going to be seeing a Cross going to activate, putting back the X and the Sword, hopefully drawing into something here. And it looks like another hand trap from the hand. It looks like an Ash Blossom that we just drew into. We're going to see a normal summon of an Ice, activating the effect, summon with the X. X can then searching for a copy of Node, but we just go up into Exoton Knight, not even activating the effect. That's crazy. We're gonna go for the Lacrima dumps. We are approaching time, which is kind of the essence, but we are down 15. So we are kind of thinking on this. They have no cards in the hand, but do we have a way to deal 8,000 damage? Now, if we go for the Desiree line, we actually have the ability to deal, like, I think it's over 9,000 damage here. So we go up into the sequence. Now, there is no risk here. They have no cards in the hand. So we're just going to kind of speed through this. We're going to activate the effect of sequence, go into the Desiree, link up into the Gumday. Gumday is going to activate the effect, bringing back the Desiree. We could have sent the Ice to the graveyard as well if we wanted to by shuffling back. We're going to be seeing the Gumday attach as well as the sequence. The Gumday doesn't even go to the graveyard, so that's kind of important to note as well. We're going to then activate the X, sending a Light Fiend to the graveyard, just so we can shuffle it back if they do had something. Sequencing is going to be kind of correctly here. Then we go for a Bonfire, which is going to be just absolute overkill at this point. Searching for the Sword. I don't think you can do that. Well, we search for Ice, then we're going to overlay. We can search for Ice, doesn't really matter. We're going to go for Dual Drive. Dual Drive is going to activate the effect, searching for the Pyro alongside. Yeah, you can't search for Sword there, but okay. And this is going to be enough for game, but yeah. Bonfire cannot search for Sword. We're going to go Battle Phase, Attack, and this is going to be 97 damage exactly here, because we have 25 over 2017. We have a 3,000, and then we also have the Desiree, which is going to be exactly enough. And we have just going to be winning game there. I don't know if we had something else we could have searched for. We already used the X, and then we already had used the Ice, I believe. So we wouldn't have been able to do that line exactly, but we still would have been in a really good spot. And we're going to be seeing the handshake there with the player on the right amid defeat. There was a little bit of a misplays going on from both sides here, but you know, it is important that you do keep the game state repairable. And we unfortunately lost game 2, even though I think that it was a little bit winnable, because we did draw that card there, which we couldn't have drawn. But regardless, hope you're watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.